In this very special and captivating Big Talk, Speaker Salon alum Josephine Rose Roberts is going to talk about what it means to move from inside a Broadway theater outside into the garden. Anything is possible for you when you understand the Fae. Enjoy this Big Talk.
What if I told you that underneath the foundation of this theater, underneath the centuries of pavement and concrete, deep below, past the soil line, or for every millimeter of loamy soil, an entire world of organisms live? There was an even deeper world, one where the fairies live, where an entire city of elemental creatures dwell in secret, nourishing and protecting the small creatures and plants that in turn continuously cultivate the bedrock on which we now stand and sit together today. Sounds crazy, right? But go with me for a moment on this. What I want from you is to live in a state of enchantment. Can we do that all together? That feeling of complete delight, easy pleasure, and contentment. It should feel light and magical because fairies, or the Fae, absolutely exist. And they are much, much older than us. And in civilizations many, many, many years ago, fairies and humans worked together to create harmony between the planet and life. There was a natural balance, and love was the currency of the time. And yes, back in those days, humans could see and communicate with fairies because in those times, humans chose to be enchanted, to let themselves be soft, to be attuned to the slightest shift in the breeze, or to see a single flower as a small part of the magical tapestry of the magical world around them. So what happened? Why can't we see the fairies anymore? The physical world around us hasn't changed. Every millisecond, Mother Nature is creating miraculous things that we can't even begin to comprehend. We have the senses to see, hear, smell, and taste, but do we feel that magical spell of otherworldliness we used to let the magical world around us put us under? I've spent my life in pursuit of others seeing and hearing my work. I may still be an actor. The entire purpose of my being is for others to pay to see, hear, and feel my effort. My job is to be visible. Even when I'm not working, an actor who takes their craft seriously is continuously working to be seen. But that's not why I'm an actor. When I was little, I used to steal my mom's Pure Moods cassette tape and her Walkman and head out to the field just a little ways from our house. And in that field, from sunup to just past dusk, I would dance. I would explore and dance. I would lose time when dancing, and yet I can still viscerally recall how my heartbeat would speed up when I would find a new clearing to dance in. And while I didn't know it at the time because it's natural for children, I was dancing with the fairies, which is their most favorite activity, by the way. They delight in any playfulness and fun, but dancing is their most favorite. And for most of my life, I still believed I was dancing with the fairies. I had a hunger, a need to dance, and not for myself, but it was a happy responsibility I felt I owed someone, somewhere, to dance. And it wasn't any more complicated than that. And you know what? I am not the best dancer, but that never mattered to me. And it never seemed to matter to anyone else because I was hired many times to dance professionally, including on Broadway. Because sometimes all it takes to be enchanted is to see, to meet, to be with someone else who is enchanted. And I was enchanted with movement. All of us have known enchantment with something. Regardless of your life circumstances, there has been a time you have been captured, enraptured, and enchanted. For some of you, like me, maybe it's relatively easy to recall a past enchantment. For the really lucky, you were enchanted today at some point. I was very lucky to be able to turn my enchantment into my vocation, as I know many others in this room have as well. However, we all know that as we grow, things we once felt, feelings of surety we've taken for granted begin to change. Enchantment is a product of playfulness, lightness, and curiosity. It's difficult to remain playful when you begin to question the world you have created for yourself. Here I was on a Broadway stage every night in a principal role, earning a living wage as a professional actor. And being on Broadway comes with many fancy perks. Private jet trips, celebrity dinners, hundreds of people wanting your signature at the stage door every night. And yet I always felt like an outsider. I enjoyed the physical work of being an actor very much, but I was always sad to leave the sunset as I'd walk into the theater. I yearned to be outside while my fellow castmates needed that sanctuary of the theater. Shortly before my 5-year run on Broadway ended, my husband and I moved to a little home in the magical land of New Jersey. And with that little home came a little piece of land. And I am so enchanted by that little piece of land. Like the many generations of humans that have come before me, when my hands touch soil, I am home. As a professional gardener, for that's now how I introduce myself, I joyfully wear my body out in the service of creating enchantment for all to share. Because I was always meant to serve the fairies. I can dance and I can plant, and I have a joy that, while hidden from audiences like the fairies, it nonetheless exists. I hope for you, enchantment is as easy as looking into the eyes of the person sitting next to you right now. Or while walking home, you suddenly see the sacred geometry of one single flower. For some of you, like me, maybe you take a meandering path through the woods and you get lost. And that's okay, because it's when you're lost in the woods that the fairies find you.
If you enjoyed this big talk, I would love to hear what your biggest takeaways were in the comments so we can fully support you. And if you desire to be on my big stage, head on over to thespeakersalon.com so that you can apply to come to New York City and take my stage, where I will support you for 6 weeks. And remember, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit the notification and subscription button so that you get access to all of our recent videos. Remember, your voice matters. Big love. Mwah.